How can you shift into a felt sense of well-being? Well, the key word here is felt sense. As you are in touch with your felt sense, it becomes easier to make the shift. It happens almost organically. So the key part is paying attention to your felt sense. Now, as you hear me say that, you probably think, well, what does he mean by felt sense? And if you're like most people, if I were to ask you, what's your felt sense today? What's your felt sense of life? What's your felt sense of your well-being? You probably would say, I feel okay. Or, nothing out of the ordinary. Or, well, kind of usual. Or standard. Or no big deal. Or something like that. Okay? Which is normal. We're not, normally paying attention to these kinds of things. We don't have many words to express it. So it makes sense that it would be a little bit difficult. And this is exactly my point. That as you make the effort to pay attention to it, the payoff is that paying attention to it is actually what is giving you the tools to making changes. So, an example is, you ask me today what my felt sense is, and I look out the window, and I'm just noticing actually that it's a pretty gray day and bleak and cold. I'm not cold right now, I'm inside, but seeing the window and the grayness of the outside reminds me that it's winter and cold, and I kind of notice a little something. Now that something may not be that easy to notice. You're probably noticing a little bit as you're watching me, but inside I may not notice it unless I compare it to, say, what's it like when it's sunny and warm? Warm, not too hot, but warm and pleasant. And there's a sense of, wow, and it's like things open up and expand and spacious, and that's pleasurable. So you notice here the difference between, wow, contracted, expanded, and, emotionally speaking, let's say I'm thinking about meeting a friend I really like to be with and just feel like, wow, something like, and there is also that sense of expanded, opening up. And in contrast, you talk to me about a task that is unpleasant, and you notice kind of that concentrating, tightening. So very much like the symbol of the frown, the smiley, opening up. And so, what I'm demonstrating here is a sense of looking for a felt sense. If you ask yourself, well, what's my felt sense? It might be difficult. On the other hand, let's say you are, like me, standing up and getting a little bit into movement. And it's a little bit like you're groping in the dark to try and find where things are. So your whole body is already in movement. And the groping is like a sense of quest, of paying attention to things. What is here, what is not. You're in relationship with things. So there's a quality of searching and exploring, questioning. What is this? Am I feeling something here or not? So literally, am I feeling kind of don't want to reduce life to feeling bad or feeling good, but it's a great starting point for asking yourself what your felt sense is. Is it, on the whole, something that feels, okay? And as you do that, you might say, not quite that, but kind of, well, kind of in between, okay? And so then, maybe that is your felt sense, okay? But you notice that in this process, what is happening as you do it is you're asking yourself, where am I at? Does it feel good? Does it feel bad? And you start almost touching that felt sense. That's what feeling is. So it's very, And as you're doing that, it's almost as if you had some kind of a control where you can adjust, because you first adjust the control and say, well, it's not quite this, it's a little bit more this, yeah, not a little bit more that. And as you do that, you're in relationship with your felt sense, and as you're in relationship with it, adjusting how you're in touch with it, the funny thing, the amazing thing that happens is as you're able to adjust that, you're also able to actually adjust more how you feel. Because you go, it doesn't feel that great. And as you're sensing, it doesn't feel that great. It's like, oh, but what happened if I actually shake this off a little bit? And yeah, okay, well, I'm actually feeling pretty good about noticing that I'm not feeling that great. Okay? And so this is how, you get a sense of the ability, the possibility to shift within just a few moments, your felt sense of well-being. And I'm inviting you to explore it. This is not a simple 1, 2, 3 process in terms of specific steps, but I would like you to think of it as an inspiration to explore and to connect with that felt sense and to expand from that exploration.